The gears were turning tonight at AEW Full Gear as they crowned not one, not two, but 3 new champions on the show. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. It is like 5:30 in the morning and we are here, or should I say I am here, to review AEW Full Gear. My initial thoughts, my initial reaction was this show wasn't that bad. I think it was probably one of the better AEW shows that I can remember seeing in a very, very long time. There was actually a couple of matches on the show that I enjoyed. Normally I watch AEW and it feels like hell. It feels like I would rather die. I want to look for the biggest cliff in the world to jump off of, but tonight AEW, it was actually not bad. So we kick off with the first match. It's Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Luchosaurus, who is accompanied to ringside by Christian. It's a steel cage match. Pretty good match. Luchosaurus did the big man moves, continuously throwing Jungle Boy into the steel cage. We've got lots of blood. Jungle Boy Jack Perry was bleeding all over the place. He just kept getting rammed face first into the steel cage. He made his comeback. They started brawling on the outside. I liked it up until there was one spot where Jungle Boy did a Canadian Destroyer, and I'm thinking, really? Small guy did a Canadian Destroyer on a big dude? Doesn't make a lot of sense. And then Luchosaurus hits a tombstone pile driver on Jungle Boy, who kicks out. Then Jungle Boy climbs to the top of the steel cage. He's got Luchosaurus on a table. He flies off the top of the steel cage, hits an elbow drop on Luchosaurus, and then rolls Luchosaurus over and puts a submission in and beats him with a submission. I thought that made no sense. Why is a small guy? Why is he beating the monster? Why is he making the monster tap out? They did a big elbow drop off the top of the steel cage. That should have finished it. Elbow drop off the steel cage through a table. That was enough. 1, 2, 3. He didn't need to get up, roll him over, and lock in a submission. So, I mean, it was a fun match to open the show. But yeah, there was a couple of spots, just unrealistic spots. Even when you think AEW is going to get it right, they always just have to do that one thing that makes you go, well, that was fucking dumb. So yeah, no, I enjoyed this match, but I just don't think it was needed. I don't think the end in there was necessary. Then we move into the second match. Death Triangle versus the Young Bucks. Look, I'm not going to waste time talking about this match. You've seen this once, you've seen it before. Synchronized super kicks, synchronized flips and dives, synchronized Canadian Destroyers, synchronized pile drivers. We've seen Luchosaurus hit a pile driver on Jungle Boy in the opening match, and then in this match we've seen a triple synchronized pile driver by Death Triangle, and they didn't even go for the pin. How can you take the move that Undertaker made iconic, the move that Undertaker put literally all his opponents away with, and the three of them do it and didn't even go for the pin? Fucking retarded. Hate these guys. And the worst thing is, it got announced that they're doing a best of 7 series, so now we need to see this match another 6 fucking times, and it's just garbage. It's flipped, flopping and flying. I'm not going to talk about it. Death Triangle won. What I will say is, though, I do enjoy Don Callis on commentary. He's the only good thing about the Elite, unfortunately. Apart from him, the Elite fucking suck, but Death Triangle remain your champions. Then we had Kiera Hogan and Lilia Gray coming out with Jade Cargill for the AEW TBS Championship. Nyla Rose came out. She was accompanied by Vicky Guerrero and Marina Shafir. And this was an okay match. Jade Cargill was getting dominated by Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose went to the top rope, went for a swanton. I didn't expect a big boy like this to do a swanton off the top rope, but he did, or she did, whatever it is, I don't know. Almost landed on its neck, but managed to avoid it. Then Jade Cargill got up, hit a pump kick, and then hit her finisher. 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill retains. At this stage, can anyone beat Jade Cargill? It doesn't look like it. It looks like Jade Cargill is going to have that belt until she's bored and wants to give it away. So that's her 42-0 now. Some record. Then we move on. We've got Jericho versus Bryan versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Sammy Guevara in a fatal 4-way match for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Good match. Lots of moves. Lots of near falls. Just lots of action, lots of big stuff. The ending came, Claudio hit a neutralizer on Bryan on the outside, then he's doing the big swing to Sammy Guevara in the inside, then Jericho out of nowhere comes, leaps, spinning back elbow, Judas effect, then does another one, 1, 2, 3, 2 Judas effects, got the win over Claudio, and Jericho remains your Ring of Honor your Ring of Honor champion. So yes, Chris Jericho might look about fucking 70 years old now, but he's still the champ. Then we move on to Saraya versus Britt Baker. Look, Saraya coming back for a match. I like Saraya. She's hot. I think she's got a decent character, decent gimmick. Always been a fan of Saraya. Her porn was good. You know, I've got lots of good things to say about Saraya. She's hot as fuck, but this match absolutely sucked. After 2 minutes, she was like fucking gassed. Every single move she performed looked sloppy. I thought she was... What was she training? What was her diet preparing for this comeback? Eating McDonald's 24/7? I mean, she literally looked like after a couple of minutes she couldn't go any longer. It was insane. It was a horrible match, but she somehow beat Britt Baker. Look, I'm not a bastard. I know she had a bad injury. It's nice to see her come back. It's nice to see her compete, but this match fucking sucked. Maybe in the future, maybe with less ring rush, she'll be better. But this wasn't good. This was absolutely horrible. But she got the win. Surprised she just came in and beat the pillar of AEW, so to speak, Britt Baker. But there you go. Saraya is now 1-0 in AEW, but the match wasn't very good. Then we move on to the triple threat match. Wardlow, Hobbs, and Samoa Joe. I mean, Samoa Joe just looks out of place in this match. You've got Wardlow, who's a big powerhouse guy, you know, muscle, big fucking tank. You've got Powerhouse Hobbs, pun intended, the name, you know, Powerhouse is in the name, big power guy, looks like a tank. And then you've got Samoa Joe, just looks like a big fat bastard. So yeah, I mean, the three of them are hard-hitting guys, but Joe just looks out of place next to these two. But somehow it was actually Joe that won. Wardlow was hitting powerbomb after powerbomb after powerbomb on Powerhouse Hobbs. Then he comes in, Joe comes in, hits Wardlow with the belt, and then puts a chokehold on Hobbs, who's already passed out for the powerbombs, and the ref called the match. So yeah, Samoa Joe is now a double champ. He's got the Ring of Honor title, he's got the TNT title, and he's probably going to fucking eat them both. So fair play, there you go. Samoa Joe is your new champion. Now he walks about with 2 belts. Then we move on to the 7th match. It was Sting and Darby Allin versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Sting trying his best in this match to kill himself, jumping off balconies, getting chokeslammed on the back of his head from a guy that's about fucking 12 foot. Why Sting doing this? The guy's a legend, doesn't have to do it. Has got nothing to prove. I mean, he could legit just come out with a baseball bat. That's all he has to do. Face paint baseball bat and go, woo, and that's it. Hit a Scorpion Death Drop and we'll love him for it. You know, he doesn't need to do all this dangerous things, these dangerous stunts, but he did. And in the end, him and Darby Allin win. I don't know why they're beating Jeff Jarrett like this. Jeff Jarrett comes in and loses his first match. In my opinion, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But it is what it is. It's AEW. It's not supposed to make sense. So, yeah, Sting and Darby Allin win. So, no, you know what? I fucking hate Darby Allin. I'm not going to let it go there, right? This guy is doing coffin drops. And so what if he lands on you? He weighs about 80 pounds. He's a skinny fucking wee bastard. He wears tight booty shorts with black tights. I mean, he legit looks like an emo at the park. But he doesn't look like a 35-year-old emo. He looks like a 14-year-old girl emo. What the fuck is this guy? You expect him to be sitting next to Sting drinking WKD or something, man, but instead we're supposed to believe that he can actually beat people up in real matches. He's taking on real men that look like Jeff Jarrett, men that look like Jay Lethal. You look at Jay Lethal, right? He's not the biggest guy, but you look at the amount of muscle he's put on lately. You know, he looks jacked. He looks like a guy that could legit win fights. And you look at Darby Allin, and fuck me, he looks like a guy that's never had a meal in his life. Someone needs to cook him a dinner, never mind put him in a wrestling match. So I just do not like Darby Allin, man. I don't. But, I mean, whatever. Sting and Darby Allin win. I like Sting, but Darby Allin, not for me. And by the way, I don't think Sting's ever lost a match. So, Sting's unbeaten in AEW. So, there you go. Didn't know that, but I've just read it here. So, Sting is apparently 12-0. I don't know if that's in tag team matches or if that's his overall record. But if it's his overall record, then surely Sting deserves a shot at the title, because 12-0, that's a pretty good record. Up next, we have Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's Championship. For some reason, Toni Storm was booked like the female Terminator in this match. She got title to the head, finisher, kick out. Stomped to the head, onto the title, finisher, kick out. Some reason, she kept getting hit with the title, kept getting hit with finishers, but kept kicking out. Eventually, Jamie Hayter hits her with the finisher after she ran into the exposed turnbuckle. 1, 2, 3. Jamie Hayter is the new champion, but it's the interim championship, so she's not the proper champion. It doesn't count, so it just feels like a waste of a moment. It's kind of like if Margot Robbie invited you into her bedroom and she said she wanted to have sex with you, but you're not going to have it until her boyfriend comes back, and then you need to beat her boyfriend to be able to have sex with her. Well, if you just sit in the bedroom and then her boyfriend comes back and kicks your ass, you never got sex with Margot Robbie. And that's what's happening with Jamie Hayter here. If she doesn't beat the champion when she comes back, then she was never champ. The interim champ didn't mean shit. So for me, it's just lackluster. What a horrible way to win your first title, it being an interim championship. But yeah, she won it with help, so it is what it is. I don't really care. I see Baker turning on Jamie Hayter sooner rather than later. Speaking of turning on people, we had Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus the Acclaimed. I mean, I've seen this match too many times over the past couple of months, didn't need to see it again, but Swerve and the fat boy Keith Lee couldn't get on the same page. Swerve ended up at one stage slapping Keith Lee. Keith Lee didn't take this too well, so he helped the Acclaimed up and just walked off and left Swerve Strickland on his own. So Swerve had to go against two members, 2-on-1, and in the end, the Acclaimed got the victory with the assisted Michinoku driver. So there you go, the Acclaimed win. I assume they're going to move on now. They're going to get a new set of challengers, and it looks like Swerve and Our Glory are done. Well, we get a feud now between Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. Hopefully not. Hopefully we never see them again. Hopefully that's Keith Lee off to sit in catering for the rest of his 4-year contract at AEW, because I don't want to see that big fat guy in the ring, but it is what it is. Then we move on to the main event, the 10th and final match, Jon Moxley with William Regal versus MJF for the world title. Now, I don't think anybody believed that MJF was really turning face. No one believed that he was going to do it the right way. I think everybody thought that if MJF was going to win, he was going to cheat to win, and he was going to show his true colours. And maybe we expect Stokely Hathaway to get involved, the firm to get involved. We expected someone to turn on, or at least someone to help MJF win this match, but it wasn't. It was Moxley who had someone get turned on him, and William Regal, with the opportunity, he told Moxley the refs are down, so he tells Moxley to try and get the refs up so he can beat MJF. MJF was already tapping out to the chokehold, but the refs were down, so they didn't see it. And as Moxley is trying to get the referee up, William Regal slides in the brass knucks to MJF, he puts them on, he decks Moxley, he pins him 1, 2, 3, while William Regal is up the ramp smiling down on MJF. And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, because let's be real, with hindsight, it does make sense, because the Blackpool Combat Club absolutely suck. William Regal is not a good face. He's always been better as a heel. 100%. It was different back in the day when he was the commissioner, because even though he was a sort of a face, he was doing more comedic stuff. But William Regal is a born natural heel. He's not a face. Him kissing Moxley's ass, him kissing Claudio's ass, Daniel Bryan's ass every week, it's not good. It sucks. And William Regal he's not one of my favourites, but I fucking loved the guy. Growing up, I thought the guy was great. You know, I'd probably put him, in terms of my favourites, he's not right at the top, but I'd say he's in my top 20. But I think his run in AEW has been awful, and I think it's because he's been a face and he's been licking the arse of everybody in the Blackpool Combat Club. So I'm kind of excited to see now with William Regal. I'm assuming he's going to team up with MJF. I hope so, at least. And we'll see MJF and William Regal create this new partnership and hopefully dominate AEW. And I'm glad that Moxley lost the belt, because Moxley fucking sucks, doesn't deserve to be a 3-time world champion, comes out like a junkie. Look at him, man, out of shape fucking meth head. Why is this guy world champ 3 times, for God's sake? Record breaking 3-time world champion, and look at the fucking stadium. I just don't get it. But now they have a new champion, a guy that actually looks like a champ, a guy that can actually wrestle, a guy that can talk, a guy that just looks the fucking part. It would help if he was a bit, you know, a foot taller, but you can't have everything in life. So MJF's just going to have to settle for the title and having William Regal by his side. But overall, I mean, it was an okay show. It was one of the best AEW shows I've seen in a very long time. So, and the matches I thought I liked the steel cage match. I liked the Fatal 4-Way Ring of Honor match. The main event was alright. Yeah, there was a couple of good matches on the show, and then there was a couple of okay matches. So overall, I thought it was decent. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 out of 10. It's getting a 4 out of 10 for me, and I think that's the highest rating I've gave AEW this year. So enjoy it, guys. Let me know what you think down below. I'm glad MJF's the champ. I'm looking forward to seeing what him and Regal do now as a partnership going forward. And yeah, 4 out of 10 for me. Feels weird giving AEW a 4 out of 10, but I'm not going to lie. I thought the show was decent. I thought it was okay. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I will catch you in the next one. But until then, been Fog Wrestling. Peace out.